It's the most wonderful time of my week. That's right, it's my time to bang on Neil Strauss. Today's video, we're going to be getting to the real point here. And the real point is that in addition to being a sociopath, a liar, a loser, and bad man, Neil Strauss also is the midget king of ugly chicks. Around Project Hollywood, it was his nickname that he was the midget king of the sixes. I personally don't like to rate girls on a 1 to 10 scale because it's not classy, and clearly from my entire persona and my entire war on Neil Strauss, I'm nothing but a class act. So we're just going to call Neil Strauss the midget king of ugly chicks, as evidenced by this looker that he's gaming here. Clearly, a absolutely attractive woman whose arms are bigger than his. So, I mean, I know that Neil Strauss is kind of a skinny, weak dude who, evolutionarily speaking, probably shouldn't have survived, but you shouldn't be picking up chicks who have bigger arms than you. Like, I have really big arms, so I can, pick up chicks whose arms are that big, and they'll be about the same. That chick's arms are about the same as mine. I got like some, I don't even know, I never measured them, but they got to be 15, 16 inches around those arms, and not muscular. Neil Strauss also looks drunk, which normally I would excuse people for banging ugly chicks, but fuck Neil Strauss. Alright, Neil sucks with chicks. That's basically the whole point of this video. He has no game, and now that we've gotten past his personality flaws, we can address how bad his game is, because it's really, really bad. Like, the thing that really was noticeable to me when I first met Neil Strauss even, was that he doesn't do approaches. He'll wait for someone else to do approaches, and then try to, open your set once you've already opened them. He used to do this to Jeff Graham, Jeff with a G, back in Project Hollywood all the time. In fact, he created the two-part kiss opener to, move into Jeff's sets. Like, Jeff would go out and, they'd go out to a bar or whatever, and Jeff would open groups, and he was real direct and aggressive, and then Neil would come in and be like, "Do you think kissing's cheating?" And try to jack the sets, which didn't really work because, Neil sucks, but he would make the attempt. And, like the law, intent is a big part of this. So what I'm going to be doing over the next couple videos is just breaking down Neil's own success stories. We're not even gonna break out the failure stories again for a while. Like, I broke out the failure story last week, and all of you little awesome people who read my blog were like, "Who cares about 2006?" So I've got more failure stories from Neil. Unfortunately, I don't have anything where he cries, which would really make me personally happy. That's like one of the goals with this war. One of my goals is to see Neil Strauss tears. His tears will be like victory wine for me, and I will bask in them. But the first study is Lisa Leverage, who, honestly, by a show of hands, how many people had heard of Lisa Leverage before she dated Neil? The funniest thing with this was Neil would be like, "Yeah, my celebrity girlfriend, Lisa Leverage," and everyone would be like, "Who's that?" And he'd be like, "Oh, she's in Courtney Love's band," and they'd be like, "Hole?" And they'd be like, "No, the other one." And bonus points for you if you can name Courtney Love's second band after Hole, because Lisa Leverage was in that band. So not only was she not a celebrity, she was like some 40-year-old rock and roll groupie who'd been ridden hard and put away wet. I mean, look at that schnoz. Tell me that is the schnoz of an attractive woman. And not only that, but Neil fawned over this chick for months. He hired a limo, and she flaked on him, and this, that, and the other. And that's all his spin in the game. This is all Neil's PR persona. So really, the real story of how they met is probably 10 times more horribly embarrassing. Almost as embarrassing as that fucking nose. Jesus Christ, bitch, you're rich. Get a nose job. Like my boy Nick Ritchie says, nose job before breast implants. It'll change your life. Then people might actually know who the fuck you are. So Lisa was not a cold approach. The whole kind of story of meeting Lisa and Neil persevering and her liking him once she gets to know him is basically a story about a guy who chases after some ugly chick he was introduced to by the always sane and balanced Courtney Love, right? Like, do you really want to meet someone who would spend a lot of their time around Courtney Love? Like Lisa Leverage, if that is her real name. Leverage, pretty sure not her last name. Same way Love is not Courtney's last name. But like Lisa Leverage decided to hang out with Courtney Love. She was like, you know what I like to do with my time? I like to hang out with Courtney Love. I feel like she's really balanced and she's really like a positive influence on my life. I'm not worried that she's like constantly in and out of jail for drugs and constantly in and out of court and that her daughter, wants custody away from her and that she never takes care of her kid. I'm not worried about that. I want to hang out with that chick. I want to hang out with her and make music because she's a fucking badass. That's like what Lisa Leverage was doing. She was hanging out with this degenerate drug addict chick. So in my experience, chicks that hang out with degenerate drug addicts tend to be, ding, 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 degenerate drug addicts. So, again, Neil Strauss not only was not disgusted, but because he's so obsessed with fame and status and looking cool to a lot of people, including all you guys who keep writing me comments about how cool Neil is, thank you for helping Neil. He loves that. That's really helpful for him. Like his little ego is going very well because of that. Because to him, it's more important. And he used to even say this. He used to say, yeah, I can't break up with Lisa until the game comes out and I've done all the talk shows because I want them to talk about my celebrity girlfriend. That's like really good social proof. Really? You're dating someone for social proof? That makes you a loser. That makes you one of the biggest losers ever. Like, really? Because anybody is going to be impressed by this. Like, someone's going to see that schnoz and be like, man, that guy gets fucking hot chicks. And she's a celebrity, too. She's in Courtney Love's band. Whatever the name of that band is. Not so much. So all of this, is supposed to make him some sort of master pickup artist. First of all, she's beat. Second of all, she's beat. And third of all, if a famous person who's been living in your house introduces you to a girl with a glowing recommendation and it still takes 3 dates for you to seal the deal, you suck. Neil, you suck with girls. You suck at pickup. And, I want to make you an offer. If you want, I'll have one of my, assistant coaches. I can't personally be in the same room with you without wanting to slap the shit out of you. And since, I've already beaten one assault charge in the last year, I'm not really too excited to get another one. But we can put you with Alex, one of my assistant coaches, and he can hook you up, bro. He'll help you out. He'll, teach you how to actually get laid on the first date. Especially with girls that are, warm approaches in your social circle, because that's the fucking stinker on your pickup career, man. Not only was she beat, not only was she not famous, not only were you introduced by a famous person who was living at your baller ass mansion, but you still couldn't seal the deal for 3 dates. Ugh, man, I would not go bragging about that. You know what I would not do if I wrote a chapter of a book? I would not write a chapter about how I couldn't seal the deal with this chick on 3 dates. So you might want to go edit the game. You took out a lot of stuff that made you look like a loser, but you left that thing in, and that really makes you look more like a loser than any other story. So that's just the first of our case study of women Neil Strauss has dated that we'll be breaking down dirty.com style. It's exciting for me. If, Lisa Leverage watches this video, it's nothing personal, old chicks are cool too, but, don't pretend to be something you're not. You're not famous, bitch. And if you have bad Neil stories, by all means, hit me up with them. Otherwise, I will be ending this video. Real quickly, it feels kind of weird to have a war video in the day after Osama bin Laden was found dead. So quick shout out to everyone in the armed forces all over the world. You guys do stuff that I'm way too much of a pussy to do. And I appreciate the effort that goes into keeping all of us safe in real war. And in this war, we're just really beating the shit out of Neil. This isn't even really a war as much as it's a one-sided beating with me swinging the hammer. But again, I invite all of you to comment on here. Please, please, please tell me how much I suck. By all means, get into, your thoughts about my childhood and, my various psychological coping mechanisms. It's all fascinating stuff for me as I'm taking a shit reading it. So, talk to you next week when we'll be breaking down the Gita Jones issue. And that one's about to get rough. See you then.